This is Trinesha Cottrell, and welcome to my channel. And for those of you who have been gone, welcome back. Get a cup of tea, get a cozy blanket, grab a notebook, and get ready to take some notes because we're about to dive in how to live the life of your dreams. I know you're probably thinking we hear a bunch of people tell us, "Oh yeah, you just in order to live your dream life, you just have to do this one thing." Or and you see someone who's all glammed up, they look like, flawless from head to toe. Listen, I'm not perfect. I'm a person who is flawed. And so when I'm telling you this because it actually works. This is something that I do in my life that I implement every single day to try to live the life of my dreams. And I do. I'm living it. I'm living my destiny. I'm living in my purpose. And I know some people are thinking, okay, it's impossible. How could you live your dream life? You live in purpose if you're not doing what you want to do. If you have all these excuses. Somebody else told me I can't do this. In the past, I thought that I could do this, this, and this, but it didn't work out for me. I'm working this job that I don't like. Whatever your thing is, right? You have all of these reasons why you can't live your dream life. Now, let's switch things up. What if you could? I know you're probably thinking, okay, all right, what is it? What is it that I'm going to need to do because I need to get some of this? And it's so funny because I will go different places and I have like a positive attitude. I'm the I'm the person in the office that's like happy Monday. I know some people are like, "Oh, really?" But listen, every single day is an opportunity to live my dream life. Every single day I wake up is another blessing. This is the day that the Lord has made. I will rejoice and be glad in it. I know I got churchy already, but listen. Seriously, every single moment of my life, I'm trying to appreciate, I'm trying to grab everything I got. I'm trying to appreciate every moment, every breath, every memory. I want to hold on to it. I don't want to just think, oh, it's just another day. I don't want to just think, oh, I'm just living. Oh, this is just my house. No, this is the house that God allowed me to live in. And I'm going to appreciate, I'm going to clean it. I'm going to do everything I can to let God know I'm being a good steward of the things that He's given me. So that's how my perspective is with my life. So, all right, let's get started. So, I have probably four T's. I'm going to try to be, like a little preacher at heart, right? Because I feel like it's really easy to remember things when they start with the same letter. So, and also, like through some of the training that I did recently, they say that using things like this is a good way to jog your cognitive thinking. So I'm hoping that this will help you live the life of your dreams. I know this will because you're going to be intentional after this video. After you watch this video, you're going to go out and you are going to start just taking charge of your life. And all right, so for the first T is taking accountability. I know some people are like, really, that's the first thing you're gonna hit me with? Like, you could have at least eased on into it. Like, why you gotta go straight at it like that? But listen, it's something about maturity and emotional intelligence when you can really take accountability for your own actions. I know not everybody's going to be like, oh, yes, I want some of that because you don't see the benefits of taking accountability. When you take accountability, it allows you to grow. It allows your perspective to change. It allows you to open your mindset to see things in a different perspective, to see things a different way, to start to think of different ways to resolve situations because instead of blaming other people, you're actually taking accountability for your actions. Instead of saying, oh, well, if I had been raised this way, if I had grew up in this environment, if I was given land, whatever your thing is and your excuse is for not being able to have the life of your dreams, you're right now it's time for you to take accountability. Your parents have raised you up the best way that they knew how. If you weren't raised by your parents or whoever raised you, right? They did the best that they could. People who weren't there weren't supposed to be there because God knew you could handle it. I know some people are probably gonna like be upset about me saying that, but I promise you, everything that you need you have in your life. There's nothing that you're at lack of. You're here right now because you want to become a better person, because you want to be inspired, because you want to have someone speak life into you, because you truly want to believe that your life can be better than what it is, and it can be. It's time for you to take accountability. You have to look yourself in the mirror and say, okay, I did this. When you The very first thing that you do is take accountability for your actions. It allows all of the cynicism that would penetrate your mind to go away. It allows you to actually be able to think clearly. You think of more solutions instead of you going down this rabbit hole of all of these negative thoughts and negative things about somebody else who's not even thinking about you. You can actually think about yourself. You can actually take this time to grow. You can actually take this time to learn from that scenario. You can actually take this time to say, okay, that person didn't want me, but oh well, there's another man who will. Oh well, there's another woman who will. So, and there always is somebody else who will want you. So don't ever feel like you're losing out on something because you haven't lost anything. God would never take something away from you without replacing it with something else. If you're in a position and you're like, oh, they gave the job to Susie, listen, Susie probably earned that position. If she didn't, God knew you ain't need that position because that job would have stressed you out. God is not trying to have you live a miserable life full of stress and you just being somewhere just because of a title or you just being somewhere because of the money or whatever else. And I know some people are going to say, well, it's easy to say that if you got money, people who have money always say, whatever. But listen, in broke state, in and I don't want to speak brokenness over anybody's life or lackfulness. In abundance, no matter what stage of life you're in, God is going to make sure your life is abundant. So regardless, you have that peace of mind that that person in that position doesn't have. And the whole time you're worried about what they got, and they're looking at you like, I wish I could just relax. I wish I didn't have to deal with all these people. I wish, and we are always wishing and hoping for something else besides what we have. The moment that you start to actually acknowledge, okay, I didn't do as much as I should have done to get this promotion. Like maybe instead of me going the extra mile, I just did the bare minimum of what the job required. That's not how you get promoted. You get promoted by figuring out what your weakness is, figuring out what your strengths are, figuring out how you can become better in that position. Going to your manager or doing a sync with your manager or the job, the whoever your lead is, and asking them, what can I do to contribute more to this company? Are you willing to work 8 hours plus to ensure that you're educating yourself on the material or educating yourself on the position and what role you need to play in order to get promoted in this position? Because if you're not willing to do that, you don't deserve the promotion. I know I'm coming in hot, but listen, seriously, sometimes we kind of have this mindset of somebody owes us something when don't nobody owe you anything. I know I went real country and real like southern there. But listen, and I'm not like getting on southern people because I'm like southernish. So but seriously, it's time to take accountability for your actions because that's the only way you're going to grow. That's the only way you can live the life of your dreams. You don't see a bunch of billionaires or millionaires blaming people for why they couldn't be successful. Not one. I haven't met one billionaire, millionaire, nothing that has said, oh, if it wasn't for Jim, I would have become a millionaire, or I would be successful, or I would. You might hear them say they spent a lot of time and they didn't take as much time into consideration that they could spend with their family. They didn't really appreciate the moments that they had with their family, something like that, because they were so busy building that they didn't acknowledge the fact that they needed to spend time with other people or something like that. But you never hear them say, "Oh, it's Jack, Jill, Jan's fault." It's their responsibility. They're willing to acknowledge and take accountability for their actions, and that is why they have become successful. All right. So the second thing is trusting God. I gotta throw some God in everything. Like if you watch this video, if you've been here with me long enough, you know that I'm not anything without God. So God is going to be mentioned, God, God, God. But seriously, like I can't imagine even being here without God. And sometimes when we're going through life, and if you're like me, and for those of you that don't know, I was bullied in the past. And so you could have a bully, you could have an ex, anybody tell you who they think you are. But you have to remember who God told you that you are. That bully, that ex, whoever it is, wasn't for you anyways. That bully had other insecurities, there was other stuff going on in their life, whatever else. You never know what another individual is going through. And it may seem like they have it all together and it's so perfect. But if it was perfect, they wouldn't be bullying you. I'm just letting you know ahead of time or after the fact, because sometimes it's easy to blame yourself and the adversary will play on your insecurity, making you feel as if something is wrong with you because of somebody else's insecurity, because he already got them. So now he's trying to get two birds with one stone. If he could make the bully feel like they don't matter so that they have to be the center of attention and then make you feel worthless so that you settle for that type of behavior, then he's got both of you. You have to be able to say, okay, this bully, this ex, this person, whoever they are, I don't know, they might be a troll behind a keyboard, whatever it is, right? They are not God. What does God say that I am? Because it's so easy to fall into the ways of the world thinking, oh, I can't do this. Oh, it's always me. Oh, of course this would happen to me. No, listen, change your mindset. It's time for you to say, of course this will happen to me because I can handle it. And you know what? I'm going to do better the next time. Oh, this happened this time. Psh, that ain't nothing. That ain't no thing but a chicken wing. I got all of this. You got to just brush it off. You got to dust yourself off and try again, like the Aaliyah song. Like, you really do have to just keep going. You can't allow a failure. You can't allow the things of your past to tell you who they think you are. You can't allow a circumstance to claim you and to make you feel like that's all you'll ever be. That is not all you'll ever be. God says you're more precious than rubies. God says that you are more than a conqueror. God says that you are a holy nation, a holy nation, a royal priesthood. If he said all of that about you, you better believe it. Because I'm telling you now, God is a God that he cannot lie. If he's telling you that you are special, that you are unlike anybody else, believe that. Know that you are unique and use your uniqueness as your superpower. It's time for you to acknowledge how great you really are. Because God wouldn't waste his time creating you for nothing. In the book that I'm reading, The Illusion of Money, it talks about how billions of years of things had to go a certain way for you to be created. Why would God put all of that effort in somebody who was a mistake? He wouldn't, because God is strategic. So know that everything that you are is worth it. Everything that you are is who God created you to be at your best. Don't be lackful because someone else doesn't live their dream life. You need to start living your life the way that God intended you to, with joy and peace, with happiness. And yeah, there will be happy moments, and yes, life does happen. But know that no matter what happens, God is with you always. Trust God. He got you. The third thing is talk that talk. That kind of goes hand in hand with trusting God, because you really have to not listen to what people are saying. You really have to talk that positive talk. You really got to be about that intentionality. Like, I mean, when you say you're about that God life, like, are you really? Are you really about that God life? Or are you pretending to be about that God life? Because if you're really about that God life, that's about making sure that you set standards and boundaries. That's about you making sure that you honor yourself just as much as God honors and respects you, or as much as God honors you. God says that you're his daughter and you are supposed to be loved like Christ loved the church. If you're settling for somebody that is giving you the bare minimum, that's you not living your dream life. How are you going to live your dream life if you letting somebody cause you a lack for life? If you letting somebody have you at your worst instead of you being at your best? How do you expect to be able to accomplish all your dreams if you feel like crap? Because let me tell you, before I loved myself, I really felt like crap when I settled for anything less than God's best. I would do it and I would think, oh yeah, I'm fine. This is what everybody does. Just because everybody else doing it doesn't mean you got to do it. I know I got to sound like a parent right there, but seriously, like if everybody else goes and does this, are you going to do it too? Seriously, you got to be unique. You got to be different. You are God's child. You are not the ways of the world. You are not meant to conform to the ways of society. You are meant to stand out. And I hope that you know how special, how important you are. And when you say you're going to do something, you have to be about it. Like, don't just say, oh, yeah, I'm going to start this company and then just be like, well, nobody's going to buy from me. Who cares what anybody else says? Because they're just trying to stop you because they're too afraid to go after their dreams. I'm just telling you like it is, because most of the people, and God bless, the people's heart and your family and friends and things like that who don't go for their dreams, because they can only do what they do. But God, when God shows you a vision for your life, it's for you, because God believes that you can do this because He put it on the inside of you. It is not that it's a vision for you and your whole entire family and friends and everybody else. This is the vision that God gave you. So He intends for you to walk out that vision, for you to believe in yourself, for you to stand flat footed in faith and go at it, fearful and everything else, because He's going to be with you. He's not just going to send you somewhere unprepared. He's going to make sure that the right door is open. He's going to make sure that the wrong door is closed. He's going to make sure that you're surrounded by people who are actually going to help you in that season of your life. Don't ever feel like just because someone tried to tell you something that is who you are. Don't ever feel like, oh, this negative cynicism that's coming into my brain is who I am, because everything the adversary says is a lie. He's saying it because he wants to stop you, because he knows that whatever's on the inside of you is way bigger than anything that he could ever control. The only thing the adversary has control of is our thoughts. If he can get you to not believe in yourself, he's already defeated you. That's why we struggle so much with cynicism. That's why we struggle so much with spiritual warfare. Spiritual warfare is literally mental. That's all that is. It's mental attack after mental attack after mental attack, making you believe that you're not good enough, making you and you are, making you believe that nobody's ever going to like you. But you have to remember that God loves you. You have to remember to love yourself. You have to remember that you deserve better. So in order to get better, you're gonna have to set healthy standards and boundaries. You're gonna have to truly know that you deserve better than that. And it's not just like a cliche thing like, oh yeah, I gotta set healthy standards and boundaries, because what I'm not gonna do, like, listen, don't do all that talking, do all that action, because it's easy to say, oh yeah, nobody's gonna walk all over me, but every time you take that X back, you're showing him that you don't deserve better. Every time somebody tells you that they don't want you and you accept it and you keep going with them because you feel like you can change their mind, you're telling them that you're accepting less than what you deserve. You deserve to be something that someone else is proud of. I was listening to a podcast earlier today, and this guy was talking about how with his girl that he's with, he's like, yeah, I can't wait to show her off. And, just when I go places, I'm proud that she's with me. And that's how we all deserve to be treated. Men, women, whoever. We deserve for someone to be pleased with us. I don't want to say proud, because, pride comes before the fall. But we deserve to have someone that's pleased to be with us, not somebody who deigns to be with us, not somebody who just has bare minimum tendencies, not someone who is just barely giving you anything, who's giving you breadcrumbs. So we need the whole course. I want the whole 5-course meal, not the appetizer, not just the entree, not some breadcrumbs, because that's never going to fill me up. And only God can truly fill me inside and out. But you know what I'm saying. I mean, I want it all. I'm not intending to settle for anything less than God's best for me. And I hope and I pray that that is what you intend for your life as well. I don't care how fine this sister is, men, like, she could be the finest thing that you'd ever seen in your life. Curves, more curves than, you've seen on a back road. Oh my gosh, I got real country right there. But more curves than you've seen on the back road. And you just like, I gotta have that. And then you realize you don't have the mental capacity, the intellect is not the same as your intellect. The things that you want is not the same things that she want. And then it's good to look at her, but then what's going to happen if something happened to her looks? Then you're stuck with this woman that's not even equally yoked with you, this woman that God never graced for you. So you just got to really think, what is it that you want for your life, and are we aligned with each other? You got to really think, am I really going to be able to lead her? Because if you can't lead her and she's just trying to tell you what you can do, then that might not be the person for you. And I know, what do I know as a single person? But listen, I truly believe that the man that God has graced for me, I'm going to be willing to follow him. I'm going to be willing to submit to him because he's following God. I don't want just a Joe Smo, coming along telling me, oh yeah, we just gonna go with the flow. Like, where are we going? I'm not trying to just be flowing all over the place like a feather. I'm trying to have direction and intentionality in my life. I'm trying to figure out, I'm trying to be on a path that God set forth for both of us. I'm not just trying to be anywhere. I wasted a lot of time already, and I just can't imagine just playing with God's emotions like that. Like, God's like, I got all of this for you. And I'm like, oh yeah, God, I want better. And then they just go settle for Joe Smo just because he looked good. Like, you know how many things look good in this life? Food looks good. That I gotta have more than that. And so, I mean, and I don't mean to be like so harsh when I say that, but I'm just trying to be real because we make it seem like these things are so important, but it's really not the most important thing. Just like money, when I'm reading The Illusion of Money, or when I listen to podcasts and it talks about if someone said that you could have $1 million, but you would, you know, be gone tomorrow, would you still want it? And most people say no. So you have to realize what is the most important thing to you in your life. And the very last thing that I had, because I don't want to take too much time and it's already been 20 minutes, is I put turn others' opinions off, or turn away from the opinions of others. But that kind of went in with everything else that I said. Everyone else has an opinion, but nobody is living your life for you. It's so easy for people to tell you, oh yeah, you should do this, you should do that. And they all unsuccessful and stuff trying to tell you how to be successful. No, but seriously, it'll be somebody like, oh yeah, you gotta, people just text now. Like, this is so off course, but since we talking about relationships and stuff like that, I would have one friend person, and the guys would text or something like that. And I'd be like, listen, I really need a conversation. And this person was just like so gun ho on, in this generation, all people do is text. And I'm like, listen, it's not working for me. That's not what I want. It disturbed my spirit. Like, that's how bad it was. And I just couldn't, it didn't sit right with me. I was just like, I don't know what y'all doing in this generation, but, and I'm not trying to get on the whole generation. I know some people are old school and, technology, you guys grew up with technology and I grew up with technology as well. But for me, I'm a little old school. And so I really appreciate someone picking up the phone, because you can't interpret voice fluctuation over a text message. You can't infer on about emotion, or when people are emoting through a text message. And so for me, verbal communication is like one of the strongest forms of connection that you can receive from another individual. And so when I'm thinking about stuff like that, a text message ain't gonna do it. You know what I'm saying? And so I just, yeah, if I'm trying to be mentally stimulated and for someone to penetrate my mind, like, I'm not going to be able to get that from a text message. And you can call me high class, asking too much, whatever else, and I'm just gonna have to be that. That it is what it is, because I would rather get what I actually want than settle for something just to please somebody else. Because whose life am I living? Mine or theirs? I have to really think about, is this God's best for me? And I truly don't believe that God would send me someone who can't communicate. And I'm not saying I'm the best communicator in the entire world or anything like that, or I'm perfect, because I'm not. I also know that I deserve better than that. I also know that I don't want to settle for something like that in my life. I I want to be treated like Christ intends for me to be treated. And this person would say, well, they don't know you, so of course. And yeah, maybe they'll send a text message or something at the beginning. And, they might say, hey, I'm just checking on you, something like that. But I really appreciate a real conversation. I believe that a verbal communication or a video call is more classy than a text message. I feel like a text message is for like a you up. I don't know if, you know, that's what a text message feels like to me. A text message, when somebody texts and they don't call, it's kind of like a you up. Anyways, but when someone calls and they put forth an effort, it's like, oh, hey, then maybe there is a chance, you know? And I don't want to say it like I'm super picky or anything like that, but I think it's so important to set your intentions and not to allow other people to tell you who they want you to be. You have to tell them who you are, who God says that you are, not who someone else in their mind thinks that you're going to be for them to make it easy on them. Because this is your life. In order to live your dream life, you are going to have to take accountability for your actions. You're going to have to trust God. You're going to have to talk that talk. And you're going to have to turn away from others' opinions because none of those things matter without God. None of those things matter if you don't believe in yourself. And none of those things matter if you are just willing to settle. In order to live the life of your dreams, you're going to really have to be about that life. You're going to have to be about that intentionality, about that God life, about that trusting yourself, about that taking accountability. Because you deserve to live the life of your dreams. If you're ready to live your dream life, put dream life in the comments. And also, of course, you know I'm life coaching. So if you need somebody to set goals with so that you can be on the right track, I will do that as well. But I also want you, this isn't about like me just receiving people as clients for life coaching. I want to make sure that I give you something. I want to make sure that you're receiving and that you have something that you need from this video. So in the comment section or in the description when this video is posted, I will put the link to my freebie. I have a free book that goes out to people that watch my lives, people who are supporting me. So I will put the link in the description so you can click it. It will probably be posted on Sunday because I'm going to be working on a few things. I have to wash my hair tonight, which is why it's like kind of braided up and stuff like that. So I definitely appreciate everybody being on here. I appreciate you hopping in. I appreciate the comments, the support, everything. I mean, I really am here to serve, and I really do want people to believe in themselves and truly love themselves. It's this whole negative thing has went far enough. It's time for people to get what God intended for them to, and not what other people are telling them they deserve. It's time for you to really be able to, if you say you're going to do something or you want to do something in your life, really be about it. Really go for it. Stop doubting yourself. You're the only one standing in your way. You really are. Comments, put dream life, and I will see you guys on Monday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on this channel. And if you want a little bit more, because you're like, it really would be nice to be able to have more, of this. I want more inspiration. I want to hear more about what it is that she's talking about. I want to, or if you have ideas that you want to send in, of course, send those in the description. You can also go on Facebook. You can send me a DM, whatever else. And I will definitely, I love the ideas that people send in because it's like, oh yeah, okay, I can help with this, And also, don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to like all of those things because that shows me that I really am helping someone. And that's what I'm here for. So have a good night. Thank you again.